For a family of 6 going on 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
This is the first time most of us met the Jenkins, okay? The woman doing the voiceover and also shown in the video is Stephanie Jenkins, okay? That is what she calls herself. That is not her legal name because she is married to a different man, but we will get to that. In this video, she is throwing out their dining room table in order to move her 2 daughters from her husband, whom she is still married to, who is in prison for touching children. She is moving her daughters into the kitchen floor to sleep because her and Mr. Jenkins, who we haven't met yet, okay, have the 1-bedroom in this 1-bedroom apartment in which they have 5 children going on 6.
As the kids grow older, that means we constantly have to adapt our environment to give them more means for privacy and extra space.
Now, when this went viral, this was like, what, almost 2 years ago now. This was October of 2024. And everyone was appalled when this went viral that there were 6 people going on 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, everyone was like, how is that enough space? Like, that's insane. Present day, okay, April 2026, there are 7 people now, okay? Baby was born, right? Baby has actually never known the apartment because Baby was born in the Jetta, which is their car. Okay, so Baby was born in the Jetta while they were living in a motel and are still living in a motel. So the baby that she's pregnant with in this video has only ever known motel life. So she talks about giving her kids more space and going viral and making money. She went viral. She made money. She got evicted, and they ended up in a motel. So now there's 7 people in a motel. Let's see what else she has to say.
When outside our environment appears cluttered, disorganized, what have you.
Stephanie Thompson, who's the woman in this video again. Now, Thompson is her husband's name because she's legally married. She calls herself Stephanie Jenkins because she pretends that Drew Jenkins is her husband. That's her second baby daddy. That's the father of the baby in this video that hasn't been born yet. But that is not her husband. She says it's her husband, but she's legally married to another man who is in prison for horrific crimes, who she defended, by the way. There's letters she wrote to the court, okay? She's not very nice. I call her Pooky because I love her. She makes me money on the internet. So she's my Pooky. My Pooky pudding and pie. Anyways, so she's always chaotic and disorganized. She's like talking about how she's like not always cluttered. Every video she's ever had is cluttered, disorganized, dirty. Also, her husband, the guy in jail, he was convicted. He was a convicted SO. Like, he was on a list, baby girl. He was on the list, okay? Registered. He told her, and his family told her. And she was like, nah, I'm good. That's fine. Like, it's whatever. And then had 2 kids with him. So we have a really hard time, those of us who have done a deep dive into Pooky. I wouldn't want to go into Pooky. Blech. Anyways, the more you learn about her, the less you like her, and the harder it comes to defend anything she does, because she makes the worst decisions possible. Decisions that no one would make. If Pooky is faced with a good choice and a bad choice, she actually makes a third choice that no one could have ever possibly thought of that is so much worse than the bad decision.
But quite frankly, after making do for nearly 3 years now,
So this is actually Drew Jenkins' apartment. And it was like a subsidized housing that he got for him and his son that he had custody of. Kind of. So, like, he didn't have legal custody. He just, like, had physical custody. Like, his son was with him, and he just was, like, hiding him from his mom. So he didn't have, like, legal custody. He just, like, had physical custody. Like, he just had the kid with him, and kind of, like, stole him, like, literally. So, anyways. So, 3 years, they have been living in this 1-bedroom apartment. Pooky met King Daddy. We call him King Daddy because Stephanie always hypes him up of, like, what an amazing guy he is, and he's a bum. So it's just kind of a joke that he's King Daddy, because she'll be like, my man, my king, I love him. But, like, he's a bum. So we call him King Daddy. So King Daddy, this was his apartment. Him and Pooky met on Facebook dating, and after 2 weeks, she moved out of her mom's house Now, King Daddy told her, do not leave your mom's house because your mom babysits your 2 kids and gets paid by the state to babysit your 2 kids. And also, like, you guys have 3 bedrooms. Everybody's got a bedroom. Everybody's happy. Don't leave your mom's house. And she's like, oh, my king, I just can't leave you. Move me into your 1-bedroom palace. So, middle of the night, her and her 2 kids show up to King Daddy's 1-bedroom apartment. Now, he has his son at the 1-bedroom apartment. So now there's King Daddy, his son, Pooky, and her two girls. So now there's 5 people in the 1-bedroom apartment. Obviously, Pooky and King Daddy had to take the bedroom because who cares about the kids? Ew. They're just getting in the way of true love. So the kids are in the living room. They had beds. They, like, broke the beds or, like, they got punished or something. So they, like, took the beds away. It was very weird. Subscribers ended up buying Pooky beds for her kids after they went viral. Which, whatever. So, King Daddy and Pooky, while in the 1-bedroom, and the kids are in the living room, they were like, what is the best choice we could make right now? Let's have a baby. So they had another baby. So then there were 4 kids living outside, like in the living room, kitchen area. So 4 kids, 2 adults. So family of 6. And then, like, when you have 6 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment and you're like, what? Like, what should we do? Should we get a house? Should we, like, start saving money? No. We should have another baby because babies fix everything. So they had another baby. So that is where we meet her. We meet her now where she is pregnant with her 2nd kid with King Daddy. Okay. So that's sort of where we're at in the timeline. She's pregnant with King Daddy's 2nd baby with her. She turns out, fun fact, twist of events, she goes viral. And then we find out that King Daddy actually has another child. So he has an older son that he hasn't seen in 13 years. And he's been dodging child support. What a catch, right? Oh, what a great guy. So he's been dodging child support for 13 years. And Pooky gives away their location. And so it was actually kind of good because he was able to be tracked down and held accountable.
I have nothing but a grateful spirit for the roof over our head and only the instant judgment me and my husband receive.
So here is, like, where Pooky tries to pretend that Drew Jenkins is her husband. He is not her husband. He is her side piece because her husband tried to divorce her from prison and she wouldn't sign the paperwork, which is suspicious. It's a little weird. But Pooky's legally married to Jeremiah Christian Thompson. Okay. Google him or don't actually, because there's a appeals document because he just tried to, like, appeal something, and there's, like, court documents that you can read, and they're disgusting. Horrific. Absolutely disgusting. And she defended him. So it's very important you know that Pooky is not a good person, right? Like, I mean, we can kind of tell that already, but, like, she's genuinely not good.
Why have so many kids if you don't have enough space for them?
Oh, we know why you keep having babies, because babies fix everything. If there is something wrong in your relationship, right, where you feel insecure, have a baby, because babies fix everything.